Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another Battlefield 3 commentary, this time on Damavon Peak, and you guys pretty much have seen zero gameplay from me on this map. And the reason being is because you guys know me, I'm more of an air type guy when it comes to Battlefield 3, especially with my case of input lag, which I got some good news about that. And the good news is that the input lag, for me at least, I don't know for a lot of other players out there, because everybody experiences it on different levels. Some people experience no input lag, some people experience lots of input lag. Some people get fucked up the asshole, but I was one of the people that pretty much got screwed up the asshole, but the input lag has definitely had a notable decrease for me, which in turn is now pretty much playable to play like ground combat instead of just sticking to the air. Now when I go on the ground, I feel like I'm in control of the situation. When I had input lag before the patch like I did, what would happen is I would just keep on overshooting my target. Because it basically just feels like your character is drunk. Like the dude has just drank an entire bottle of vodka. And, oh, by the way, that guy right there, he was firing at me with a USAS. So you see how you can counter that easily now. Before the patch, if that guy would have fired at me the way he did, I would have been dead. I would have been dead, and everybody else in that little area would have been dead. And this guy, I don't know how the hell he got through. But anyways, before it just felt like my character drank a whole bottle of vodka and just got dropped into the middle of this battle. And it was really difficult to play like that, especially ground versus, like gun-on-gun combat, not ground versus ground. But, right here, this Humvee, I don't know how he elevated the barrel so low. You saw me, I'm right behind his Jeep, and then his barrel just elevates really low and gets me, but somebody else ends up getting him during the game. But this game right here was a great game. I was playing with some random people that I met, and they had mics, and I was playing on my Captain Miller Ivan account, and usually when I play on that account, I just go for the jets, but I decided, since these guys were cool, I started in a server with them on Caspian Border. Since these guys were cool, I just kept on playing, and we played some great games. They did some great teamwork, and with their mics, we were able to communicate and whatnot. But input lag has definitely decreased noticeably, which is great for me after the patch. And the gameplay in general definitely seems 1,000 times better than it was before the patch. It seems a bit more towards the fair side now. You know, everything's not all flowers and roses now. It's not like after the patch every single little bug, every single little crack in the game is all fixed. No, there's still issues. Of course there's still issues. But, you know, at least this patch is definitely a huge step in the right direction for Battlefield 3. Because now I find myself playing more of it. I've played more Battlefield 3 just since the patch has been released than I played altogether in probably the last 2 weeks. Probably the entire month. Because you guys who follow me on Twitter, you know that since Battlefield 3 really was my cup of tea before the patch because of all the issues, I played a lot of Bad Company 2. But lately I've been finding myself playing no Bad Company 2, playing all Battlefield 3. And it's now the game that I actually enjoy. You know, it's of course some moments I'm like, ah, shit, but you know, it happens, and the game's not gonna be perfect, and they definitely did a great job with the patch. And also something that I noticed is less blue tint, and this is one of the unannounced patch notes. I'm gonna be covering a little bit of the unannounced patch notes because of course you guys could go on multiplayerfirst.com right now and look at all the patch notes that were already there. And if you want to look at the unannounced patch notes, all of them, there's a link in the description box, multiplayerfirst.com. And there's less blue tint, which is great, because the blue tint drove some players mad. Like, it just felt like everything just had this tint of blue over it. Even maps that blue had nothing to do with, it still felt like there was a tint of blue. So the blue tint has been toned down. I guess DICE knew that that was a little bit of a mistake. And it's easier to see icons. If you guys notice icons such as your teammates, the objective itself, and on the radar itself, it's easier to see things like ammo, health, and whatnot. And this guy right here, he got me with the frag rounds with a shotgun, but that was because my aiming was shit. With the audio is much better. And it's not only the fact that you can hear footsteps, but the fact that sound glitches happens less, but it still happens to me. The PS3 has been known for like the sound glitch, where a lot of people would mistake it for like an explosive going off by your ear and your character just going all deaf. But no, the sound glitch is not because of an explosive. It's just because of the sound glitches in the game. And what happens is you can't hear anything. Once you fire your weapon, the sound comes back for a little bit, then it goes back out again. and it becomes this really annoying scenario where you can't hear anything at all except the voices in the game, that whoever is on their mic and whatnot. That has been fixed a little bit, but it still occurs less frequently, but still kind of frequently, if you know what I mean. Another thing that I noticed, which was badass, the sound of your vehicle taking damage is just amazingly badass. If you guys have ever seen the movie Behind Enemy Lines, remember the part where they're in the jet in the beginning, the F-18, and their jet gets hit by the missile, and you hear the jet, like, all the systems shutting down, you hear, like, all this damage going down, and they're getting ready to eject. That's what the jet damage sounds like now, and it just makes you feel like, holy shit, something's going down, you know? And it makes you more alert as to how much damage your jet is taking. Because if your jet or vehicle in general is taking a lot of damage, you're gonna hear a lot of shit getting messed up, and that gives you the cue to either pull out of there if you're in a tank and get some repairs, or hop out of the tank because it's about to go, or eject from the jet because the jet is about to go as well. And I'm not sure if they toned down the percentage at which your jet becomes disabled, because before, when I used to fly in the jet, I remember that anything like pretty much below 50%, I believe, I can't really remember too much, either 50% or 45%, your jet was disabled. Now, I've been damaged all the way down to 30%, and sometimes even 25%, and my jet isn't disabled yet. I'm not sure if it's how they hit you, where they hit you, but it seems as though the disability of the jet has been toned down just a bit to make it a little bit more fair. One thing I did not like was that they did not bring no colorblind mode. It seems that looks badass on PC. I don't know why. I'm attracted to that. And it didn't come in this patch, but they stated that they might be bringing it in the future, which is actually pretty good. I like this part right here. I use the bipod to my advantage, but I can't really get really good shots. You see how many times this guy hit me and I still didn't die? It's a freaking miracle. One thing I do not like about this patch, it seems to be that they raised the recoil of every weapon. Before this patch, the recoil was actually already there. You felt the recoil. I think that they're just trying to tip the balance towards more realistic gameplay, and I don't like that because there's a line that you must draw. It's imperative, absolutely imperative for developers out there to draw a line between just a video game and realism. And I believe that that is something that Bad Company 2 did extraordinarily well. Not with, like, you know, the gameplay or whatnot. I'm talking about, like, with the weapons. In Bad Company 2, and I know a lot of you guys out there agree with me, the way the gun handle was, it just felt completely perfect. There was recoil, and it took skill, and it just felt like the more skillful player won each gunfight. And the guns, the way they handled were really well. It was like damn near perfect. Of course, you had some of the weapons that were a bit, you know, kind of eyebrow raising, to say the least, such as the automatic shotguns, which I cannot stand in Bad Company 2. But you can still counter them if they're at a medium to long distance range. But if I had my option, I wouldn't put automatic shotguns at all, or pretty much shotguns in general, into video games, because there's always issues with shotguns for some reason. In any video game. In Call of Duty, you always had like the A12, the Spots 12, and then this one you had the USAS with frags, and in Bad Company 2 you had the USAS there, the Saga there, and it was just annoying, people who used automatic shotguns. And then you have your issues with the regular shotguns as well, and it just becomes a pain in the ass sometimes to try to balance for the developers and for the gameplay, the people who play the game like me and you, to try to actually play the game itself with these issues in the game. But the patch definitely, it's much better now, and the rent a server has been included as well, and I've been playing on my buddy Hater's server because there was some issues with my server. For those of you guys who don't know, I purchased the server. If you've been following me on Twitter and Facebook, you've heard about this already. But what happened was, I purchased the server. I went on the PlayStation 3, put in Battlefield 3, went to rent a server. I waited. The day rent a servers were released for console, I waited all night. Wasn't able to get one because they were sold out, because PlayStation took their sweet ass time to update the store. And by the time the store was updated and I was able to purchase a server, they were all sold out. Because as you guys know, for those of you guys who don't know, they're releasing the rent a server program little by little. That way they won't be an overload, which I can understand, you know. Because if they just release all the servers, then a bunch of freaking people are going to go out there and buy it, and then all the servers are going to collapse. You're going to have issues, and so on and so forth. So right now, I spoke to a guy at EA, and he stated that they have about 2,500 servers out right now for PS3, Battlefield 3. And I tried to purchase one, and I did purchase it. However, there was an error during the purchase and during the checkout, and I didn't get the server, but I paid the money. I paid $65, and I basically paid $65 for nothing. So I contacted EA. They weren't able to help me at first, and then I contacted them again today. And now the guy, he was actually surprisingly helpful, because the person before wasn't really helpful at all. It just seems like he was giving the generic answers. Well, did you try restarting your PS3? Oh, okay. Did you try signing in and out? Oh, okay. Did you try shoving your thumb up your ass? No, you didn't try that? Okay. It's like those generic answers are just like, what the fuck? This is not gonna help. He also told me to disable the media server on the PS3. That has nothing to do with the PlayStation Store. I wanted to like blue skadoos through the phone and just foostera his ass all the way to freaking Antarctica or some shit. That guy pissed me off. I was losing my temper. But the guy that I spoke to today was surprisingly a relief of help. He was actually cool. He sounded like a gamer. He sounded like a, older gamer. And he actually knew what he was talking about. And he told me that they're going to pull some strings because the guy that I was talking to, their office has direct ties to DICE. So hopefully they're able to pull some strings and get me a server. But if they can't, then they're going to refund me the money. And then when more servers are available, I could just go and purchase it again. But he said most likely they will be able to pull some strings and get me a server, even if it's all sold out, because they're going to speak to DICE directly. So I'm hoping that what he's telling me is true, and I'm able to get my server. And I know it's going to be a little bit of a shitfest for me on the server, because I don't know why, but my fans out there think that they get a night with Megan Fox or some shit if they kill me. It's like a trophy to get me killed, and everybody just guns for me. It's like throwing meat in the middle of like a lion's den or some shit. But the game is about to end. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. I knifed this guy, but watch. Game over. That sucks. I hate when that happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. My final thoughts on the patch is that the game is much better with it. Long needed. Long awaited. 5 months. Come on, DICE. Really? So I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. If you did, don't forget to click that like button. Until next time, guys. Peace.